Hi, I'm Sadie Brooks, and today I'll be talking about an injury that I sustained when I was in elementary school. Um, so when I was in elementary, I was playing football at recess, and we were playing two-hand touch. Um, but I was tackled by a classmate, and I broke my arm. Um, when I fell, I wasn't quite sure what was going on. My arm hurt, but I wasn't real sure what had happened. When I got myself to sit up and to look down at my wrist at recess, we stopped playing. I had a classmate come over, and another classmate went and got a parapro who watches us at recess. The parapro came over. I was kind of sitting there crying because I'm in fourth grade. Um, but the parapro came over. She assessed what was going on, um, and walked me and my classmate both walked me into the nurse's office into the school. The whole time on the way down, I was keeping my arm close to my chest and guarding my left hand, using my left hand to guard, um, holding my elbow, keeping it close to my chest, just kind of protecting it. Um, I I got to the nurse's office, and the nurse did not have a big enough sling for me. She only had like kindergarten sized slings. My mom was called. She was actually on her way to the school anyway. We had an event going on that night, but she came, she picked me up. Um, I did use the sling only because it helped to at least support my elbow. It literally I could only fit my elbow in it. Um, but again, like the whole car ride to the hospital, I did keep my arm holding my elbow even though it was in a sling. When I got to the emergency room, I was sedated shortly after x-rays to go into surgery. The orthopedic surgeon and the family doctor that was on call that afternoon came in, and they ended up having to reset my arm. I would change the care I was given after. I was put into an air cast, a soft cast. Once I returned back to school and I was in my soft cast, I was still having a lot of pain in my wrist, and I ended up going home 3 days in a row just because I was in so much pain, and the nurse wasn't able to get me any more Tylenol or ibuprofen. So I ended up going in to the orthopedic surgeon, where when I was there, I was waiting for the doctor to come in. The nurse had put me in kind of like those finger Chinese handcuffs to get my wrist elevated. The nurse came in and asked me if I was in any pain, and I told her no, and she called me a liar for lying to my mom and lying to the school for not being in much pain. Um, so that's the only care that I would change. Um, I obviously wasn't in pain because the swelling was going down that was in my wrist. I wasn't in pain at that moment, but the injury was causing me a lot of pain. Um, Once the air cast came off, the orthopedic surgeon realized that my wrist was not set correctly. Um, the injury today, I still get pain when it gets cold outside. So when the temperature starts to drop in the winter, my wrist just gets really stiff. And then as you can see, just kind of in comparison to my wrist kind of sticks out right here. Again, it wasn't set correctly. Officially, I broke the growth plate in my wrist. Growth plates are in a few different places throughout the body. You have one in the femur, between the tibia and fibula, between the radius and ulna, and in both hands and feet. Growth plates help the long bones grow in length and width. Growth plates bones stop growing for girls between ages 13 and 15. So in fourth grade, I was almost to that 13 age gap where my bones stopped growing. Before the bones hit puberty, though, the growth plates are very weak, according to kidshealth.org. And I broke the growth plate that connects the radius and ulna to the carpals in the wrist. Injuries like this happen often in car accidents, playing sports, or other recreational activities like biking, skiing, and sledding. Some signs and symptoms of a fractured growth plate include pain and tenderness, inability to move the affected area, warmth and swelling near joint, and then visible deformity in arms or legs, according to Mayo Clinic. When assessing someone with a broken bone, one will want to look for swelling and bruising, the ability to move the extremity, and the physical shape the limb is in. When caring for an injured limb, be sure to support it, and if able, to protect it with padding for extra support. With an arm fracture, secure it to the chest with a sling, according to the St. John Ambulance. Treatment for fractures is dependent on how bad the incident is. Small fractures call for casts and splints. Bigger fractures are repaired by surgery and may need to be realigned. Fractures that need surgery may have a better chance of recovering and growing again, according to Mayo Clinic. If the fracture becomes unstable, surgery may be an option. Surgery may also be used to place bones and joints that are healing improperly back into place. Treatment for fractures is dependent on how bad the break is. Small fractures call for casts and splints, and then bigger fractures that need to be repaired by surgery may need to be realigned. Fractures that need surgery may have a better chance of recovering and growing, according to Mayo Clinic. And then if the fracture becomes unstable, surgery may be an option as well. Surgery may also be used to place bones and joints that are healing and properly back into place, according to Yale Medicine. Follow-up appointments may be needed depending on the bone's ability to heal and grow correctly. Physical therapy also may be needed. Recovery for fractures like this can last anywhere from a couple of weeks to months in a cast, depending on the severity of the break.